there, Bookaneers! Happy New Year! It's Lizzie from the Stanton Public Library, and I'm excited for our first Bookaneers book club of the new year. As always, I'm going to tell you about a new middle grade book and then recommend 3 read-alikes for you. And I'm cheating a little bit today because the new book I want to tell you about is the second book in a series. So of course I have to tell you about number 1 as well. Are you ready to find out what today's selection is? Okay, this series is by an author named Aaron Reynolds, who you might actually know because he's written some really wacky picture books, like Creepy Carrots and Creepy Pair of Underwear, also Nerdy Birdie and some other ones like that. So these are in the same kind of universe as far as being silly, over the top, kind of bananas stories that sometimes are a little bit dark. This series is called The Incredibly Dead Pets of Rex Dexter by Aaron Reynolds. See if you can say that 10 times fast. And this is book number 1, which came out last year. And then this is the new volume, number 2, called Narwhal I'm Around. Now, it's a little bit tricky to describe what these books are like, but I would think anyone who likes the Last Kids on Earth series would like these books as well. They're basically about a boy who really wants a dog for his birthday, but gets a chicken instead. And I will tell you ahead of time, as the title and the picture show you, that the chicken dies a pretty horrible death, but comes back as a ghost to kind of haunt, in a friendly way, his owner. What happens is all these other animals start haunting him too, and there's actually a mystery that Rex has to figure out. But really, it's just a hilarious, funny, over-the-top story. There aren't a ton of pictures, but as you can see, they show up every once in a while. But this is kind of a good transition if you need a longer or more difficult chapter book. Let's say like a Next Step from Wimpy Kid or Last Kids on Earth. Definitely try these. They're super fun. Okay, so my first read-alike recommendation is My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish by Mo O'Hara. And this is the first of a series as well. You can probably tell from the cover that this one, like the other one, is equal parts silly and scary. A little bit morbid, but definitely wacky. In this story, a boy's older brother has decided to become an evil scientist and begins his experiments by dunking his pet goldfish in like a radioactive ooze. And the main character tries to bring his goldfish back to life, but creates this kind of evil, zombie, hypnotic goldfish that is out for revenge. The second read-alike recommendation is the first book in the Case File 13 series called Zombie Kid by J. Scott Savage. And this was actually one of our Summer Scares books from a few years ago. We had a book club for that, and we got to meet the author over Zoom. It was really fun. This is one of my favorite middle grade horror books, but it is so funny. So there are no dead pets in this book, but there is a zombie kid. Basically, this is about 3 friends who love monsters, and one of the friends is cursed. There's a cursed amulet that he finds in a graveyard when he visits his aunt, who may have been a witch. It's all that kind of Halloween stuff. And he and his friends have to figure out how to undo the curse before he, falls apart. Not really any pictures in this one, but you can see that there's these funny chapter breaks. So if you're interested in something that's a little bit more challenging, and I actually think a little bit more heartfelt and mature, this one is a great choice. So for my last read-alike recommendation, I struggled to choose between 2 books. One which is like more difficult to read, maybe for ages 10 and up, and one that's easier to read. So I chose both. The first one is My Pet Slime by Courtney Scheinmel. Talk about unusual pets. Look at this cute little thing. It's basically about a girl named Piper who's allergic to animals and creates her own slime pet that through magic comes to life. If you've been on Epic at school, you may have actually run into this series. I think we have the first 3 volumes. Now, it's super cute. The words are pretty big. There's colored illustrations throughout. The chapters aren't too long. But I will tell you, there are some high stakes kind of scary situations throughout, so be warned. The other book, it's a little bit more difficult to read than the Incredibly Dead Pet series, is a book, it's a standalone so far, called The Monster Hypothesis by Romilly Bernard. This is for readers who like really plot-driven stories, maybe a little bit eerie, but it's got a really smart and spunky girl protagonist. This story is about a girl named Kik who lives in a small town where there are like 4 times as many alligators as people. Her parents are scientists, so when the townspeople talk about this curse that comes around every 100 years and like kids are gonna start disappearing, Kik does not believe it, and she actually sets out to disprove it. But at the same time, her grandmother, who's like the town psychic, basically convinces her to pretend like she's psychic at school to become more popular. It's a little bit wacky, a little bit eerie and scary, and it's definitely got a cool story where you get to know different characters in the town and try to figure out the mystery with Kik. My friends, it was great to talk with you. I hope you get a chance to check out this new series from Aaron Reynolds. I am sure that there are going to be more books in the series. And as always, I love to know what you're reading. You can leave that in the comments. And I will see you next month with another Bookaneers Book Club video. Bye!